After 9 years of saying she didn't want to be in charge, and 7 weeks of saying she did, 37-year-old Jacinda Ardern became the 40th Prime Minister of New Zealand. 1. From Murupara to Morrinsville. The photograph from 1985 shows 2 smiling girls in a trailer with a dozen other neighbourhood kids. One of the girls has light blonde hair, the other brown. They sport impressive mullets and are the only white faces in the group. Jacinda Ardern and her older sister Louise grew up in Murupara, a small forestry town in the middle of New Zealand's North Island. The population of 2,000 was overwhelmingly Indigenous, so the girls' schoolmates were predominantly Māori. Jacinda Kate Laurel Ardern was born on 26 July 1980 in Hamilton, but her first memories were formed here in Murupara, where the family moved when Jacinda was 5. Her father, Ross, was posted there as a police officer. Murupara was a tough area. The tribesmen, a newly formed motorcycle gang, ran the town, and the privatisation of the forestry industry had seen many locals end up on the dole. The Arderns lived in front of the police station, and Jacinda witnessed no shortage of poverty and violence in her time there. Jacinda has said her early childhood shaped her as a politician. "If it's possible to begin building your social conscience when you are a small child," she said, "then that is what happened to me." Of course, as a 5-year-old, Jacinda didn't see kids without shoes and think of the privatisation of primary industries and the collapse of central government. She just saw kids without shoes and thought it was unfair. "I never viewed the world through the lens of politics then, and in many ways still don't," she would later say. "Instead, I try to view it through the lens of children, people, and the most basic concept of fairness." As a child, Jacinda was relatively insulated from the injustice around her in Murupara. Her family were financially better off than most of their neighbours. But as Ross was a police officer, some of the locals weren't fans of the family. Bottles were thrown at the Arderns' house, and altercations occurred outside the station. One day, Jacinda ventured out the back gate to walk to the shops and stumbled upon her dad surrounded by a group of men who clearly weren't happy. Ross was talking to them calmly, trying to de-escalate the situation. He spotted Jacinda, frozen on the spot. "Run along, Jacinda. It's all right," he told her, before turning his attention back to the men. It was just a moment, but his approach to conflict stayed with her. Years later, as an MP, Jacinda would be known for her diplomacy when dealing with colleagues and opponents alike. Although Jacinda's family moved away from Murupara when she was 8, she had strong memories of her time there. The many, many jobs lost. The neighbour who died, and who she later learned had committed suicide. The babysitter who turned yellow one day from hepatitis and didn't babysit anymore. It wasn't political, it was just unfair. In 1987, Jacinda's parents announced the family was moving. To the big city? No, to Morrinsville. Morrinsville wasn't a metropolis, but it was bigger and broader than Murupara, more of a microcosm of the country as a whole, with wealth and poverty close neighbours. Families that owned large, successful dairy farms lived around the corner from recently arrived refugees. The largest, fanciest establishment was the Morrinsville Golf Club, which shared a border with the Ardern family home. The house, a Lockwood design, constructed without nails, had been built by Jacinda's grandfather. To earn pocket money, Jacinda kept the family fruit stall stocked. Golfers heading down the fairway over the back fence could buy an apple for 20 cents, slotting their coins into the honesty box. Beyond the green,